So, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new Materwelon upload. I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. And today we need to talk about the LeafyIsHere allegations. If you haven't seen it already, Leafy actually got accused of grooming and sending explicit pictures of his private parts to a 13-year-old girl when he was 18. Over on TikTok, this user that goes by the name of @KidIsDone made a couple of TikToks attacking him with that information, and I do actually have a couple of things to say against it, because I believe I've discovered a few key contradictions in her story. So in this video, after we reviewed all the evidence she provides, we'll go from the smallest indicator that she might not be telling the truth all the way to the biggest contradiction in her statements. If you're enjoying this kind of video style, then please click that red button down below. It will really mean a lot to me. Also make sure to follow me on Twitter @RealMaterwelon, where you'll experience me firsthand sucking up to bigger commentators. Before we get into this whole allegation part, as a quick disclaimer, since I'm talking about Leafy here, please don't go and harass anybody mentioned in this video. That's just completely unnecessary. And what's also important to mention here is that in this video I definitely won't be concluding with 100% Leafy's guilty or 100% Leafy's innocent and this woman is a filthy cloud chaser. I'll make up my mind towards a certain direction based on the evidence provided here, but it will never be 100% conclusive. It's more of like an educated guess, since if there's one thing this whole pyrocynical situation should have taught us, is that we should never go 100%, because there could always be new evidence coming out. Hence on why the title says innocent until proven guilty, even though it's probably more like innocent until either the accuser provides more evidence or they just give up. But hey, innocent until proven guilty sounds pretty good. So now let's actually just go over a quick rundown of who LeafyIsHere actually is, if for some reason or another you've never heard of him before. Basically, Leafy is one of the guys that paved the way so a commentator like me can get there today, which is obviously something no commentary channel should ever forget. He's like one of the founding fathers of the commentary genre, I guess. Leafy started gaining some attention in 2015 after moving his content to commentary from Minecraft, which at the time was just making fun of random people for their appearance or cause they were shit at whatever it is they did, and that grew him up to, I believe, 3 or 4 million subs. I can't pull up the exact numbers from anywhere because his channel is deleted now, but yeah, he was pretty famous. And then some huge commentary drama happened that made him quit YouTube eventually, and then he came back around when the pandemic started in 2020 and made 10 videos against Pokimane and eventually got banned off the platform. Okay, so that was basically like an extremely shortcut version of who LeafyIsHere is for the 2 people that are watching that didn't know him already. If you actually want full detail on him, then I can only recommend the 1-hour documentary This Guy Rising Creator. But let's finally get into the accusations now. So this first TikTok actually uses copyrighted music, so I'll try to replace it with some background noise.
When I do my hair, I like to, finish it off with a little Got to Be glue spray, just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more Got to Be glue spray, so I used this Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea.
Wow, it's very nice.
This got 150,000 views over on TikTok, and she's basically saying she met Calvin, who is Leafy, that's Leafy's actual name, and she thought she made an actual friend in him when he promised to meet up with her, and she discovered him on YouTube and found out it's actually been Leafy the whole time. Now, I do have a couple of problems with this statement right here. We're going to go from weakest point against her claims to the strongest at the end, but first of all, just like from a basic standpoint of who Leafy actually is, I mean, you obviously don't completely know how he acts behind the scenes, but he did always come across as rather authentic in his videos, and in his videos he would basically shit on people that look exactly like you for 15 minutes or so.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Like, that would be peak 2016 Leafy material. I'm not trying to go off on someone because of their appearance, but that's just what Leafy's videos consisted of back then, which already makes it questionable that he would willingly associate with somebody like you if he knows that he himself, and most importantly his audience, would normally despise people similar to you. I'm not generalizing here, by the way. I'm just accurately depicting of how the majority of Leafy's audience would have reacted to Leafy dating her back then. Granted, that really doesn't prove anything. She probably looked vastly different back then, so let's actually look at the evidence she provides to back up her claims. Well, there isn't any. She has no receipts at all. Her reasoning behind that is this.
For those of you asking for proof, I was 13. I don't have that old phone anymore. I don't have that login information anymore. That happened, and I completely got off of everything that was attached to him.
While it's of course convenient that she has an excuse for not having any receipts to back up her claims, it's actually believable, since it, according to her, happened a while ago. But her statement alone that she said I was 13 when it happened is already very interesting, because additionally in her third TikTok she mentions that Leafy was 18 back then.
I was 13 at the time. He was 18.
And that's very telling. I'm not a journalist or something, but from looking at your bio on TikTok, you're 20 years old currently and Leafy is 25 at the moment. So if he was 18 and you 13, that would leave the events you described to have taken place somewhere between August 18, 2013, which would be when Leafy turned 18, and February 13th, which would be when you turned 14, even though it's probably more likely that your actual birthday is a little bit earlier. But even if we take this full timeline into consideration, there are some great holes in his story. Remember in the first TikTok she claims they met on this app called Amino? Well, that personally to me seems like a lie, because the website Amino was only created in July 2014, at least according to Wikipedia, and I do think they are correct. So right off the bat, that's obviously like a huge contradiction, but she could just be remembering dates wrong or something, so let's move on to the next contradiction I would like to point out. Okay, before we get into what I actually want to say, whilst editing this I realized another contradiction.
I was 13 at the time. He was 18. And he told me he was 14.
She's claiming he was pretending to be 14, but in her first TikTok she also claimed he told her that they would only meet up once she's old enough. So like, wouldn't you wonder why a guy that's basically the same age as you doesn't think you're old enough yet? I just wanted to quickly add that segment here, since I do find it rather odd.
When I met Calvin, he used a picture of a little African American boy. And so when I found out that Calvin was Leafy, I realized this is not good. Something's wrong here.
So she's basically saying Leafy was some kind of catfish, because on his profile picture he didn't have himself but an African American boy instead. And according to her, it wasn't like a meme or something, she actually believed it was him. Now, there's one major problem and huge contradiction here. You're saying the entire time you thought he was a black 14-year-old boy, but in the first TikTok you also claimed Leafy was sending you pictures of his cock. Leafy, the 18-year-old white guy, sends a dick pic, but he's supposed to be black. Do you see where I'm getting here? Okay, fuck it, I'm not monetized anyway, so his cock should have been black. I don't know how to tell you this, but you're saying you stayed in contact until you found his channel, which we'll get into as my last point. So that means that you allegedly received pics of Leafy's cock, who was pretending to be a black child, and you didn't think anything of it? You still thought he was a black kid, even after he sent you pictures that would allegedly have shown his private parts? Yeah, I don't think Leafy's private parts are black, so I'm smelling some huge bullshit here. That story doesn't line up. But now for the final and most telling point. So she explains that the reason she allegedly found out about Leafy actually being the person sending these pictures are not any indicators I previously went over, but the fact that she happened to find Leafy's channel, which according to her was very popular at the time. She even says that in her final TikTok.
I did not look him up on YouTube. I had no idea he had a YouTube. He did not tell me. I was recommended a video by YouTube. I was recommended a video, and I found it funny that it was the same user as the Skype name.
Now what I'm wondering though is, according to your own timeline, you and Leafy must have met somewhere between early 2014 and mid 2013. Now it's one thing that Leafy only really started gaining traction on YouTube in 2015, when he switched his content up to commentary instead of Minecraft, but in 2013 and 2014, according to this old social blade graph that I was able to dig up over on Twitter, Leafy's channel during that period of time only had a couple of thousands of subs, which directly contradicts with you previously stating that Leafy was a quote very popular YouTuber back then. So you are just digging yourself into deeper and deeper holes, lady. And funnily enough, she did actually turn off comments because people were pointing out the flaws I just mentioned in her story. I mean, she even says she didn't look him up, but it was recommended to her. So let me tell you from my personal experience, a channel with a Leafy size back then wouldn't just randomly get recommended to people that don't consume that content at all. But yeah, that was the last contradiction and piece of evidence I was able to find. I'm really wondering if she's going to release another TikTok, because she originally said she was done with this whole situation, but if she has some evidence she can provide, I'd definitely be open to hearing it. as for now, I think there's just too many contradictions in this story. So yeah, these are kind of my thoughts on this whole situation with Leafy and his accuser on TikTok. I don't think you can entirely conclude him as guilty or as innocent here, but based on the evidence provided, I definitely think it's more likely that the person accusing him is really just a clout chaser on TikTok. But regardless of how you think of this entire situation, definitely let me know your opinion down below in the comments. It would really interest me a lot. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's much appreciated. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Stay safe. Peace.